Taehyung appeared live on Weverse, and once again gave us a moment that fills us with happiness. Every time he decides to turn on the camera and spend some time with us, we feel like the world stops just to listen to him. His presence alone lights up, his energy calms, and the way he communicates with us makes us feel like we're in the same room. Isn't it magical when he appears unexpectedly and effortlessly brings a smile to our faces? During the live, he mentioned that he was in the mood for Korean pop music that day. And, as if that weren't enough, he also recommended a band for us to listen to. Those kinds of recommendations are treasures for the fandom, because we know that everything he shares carries a little piece of his heart. He is so precious, not only on the outside, but also in his essence. He came to greet us and share a little of his time, and that simple gesture makes him even more special. Taehyung always conveys the purity of a noble soul and the love of an immense heart. He doesn't need grand speeches, because his demeanor says it all. Every word he says resonates with us, every glance he takes reminds us why he's such a unique star. And here's something else, he always does it with overwhelming humility. During the broadcast, he also talked about Brown Eyed Soul, a group he's a fan of and that has accompanied his growth. He recommended listening to them, and with that, he opened the door to a little piece of his musical history. Knowing that he grew up with those songs and now wants to share them with us is like receiving a gift straight from his memory and his artistic sensibility. And of course, we all rush to listen to them, because if Taehyung recommends them, we know there's beauty guaranteed. Here's the best part, through those recommendations, we can feel closer to his personal world. There are no words enough to describe how handsome he looked. Taehyung shines with a beauty that goes beyond the physical, but at the same time, it can't go unnoticed. It's so shocking that even JUNGKOOK has said it clearly, for him, Taehyung is the most handsome man he's ever seen. And who could blame him? We understand JUNGKOOK perfectly, because each of us, when looking at Taehyung, feels the same. That natural handsomeness makes him simply unforgettable. And here's the charming detail, JUNGKOOK is also gorgeous, and in the two of them we see a reflection of beauty and connection that never fails to captivate. Now, it wasn't all just a live show. In recent days, rumors surfaced that Taehyung and JUNGKOOK were spotted together at Gold's Gym. And after the images circulated, the truth came out, yes, they were there together. The photo doesn't lie, and the confirmation brought a wave of excitement to the fandom. But here's something that elevates this moment even more. They were both wearing matching tank tops, almost like a symbol of the connection they share. Isn't it beautiful to see how the simplest details end up being the most meaningful? These moments remind us how much they enjoy spending time together. Taehyung isn't a fabricated concept, he's not an imposed story. He's a reality that is built day by day with every gesture, every glance, and every moment shared. They prove time and time again that their relationship doesn't depend on what a company says, but on what they truly feel. And that's the kind of truth that no lie can tear down. That's why, even if there are rumors or attempts to discredit what they show, Taehyung and JUNGKOOK remain steadfast, proving with facts what some want to deny. JUNGKOOK's fans may make up stories, they may cast aspersions, but Taekook's light always shines brighter. They themselves teach us that no matter what others say, what exists between them is real, constant, and sincere. And in the end, time always proves them right. Talking about Taehyung and JUNGKOOK is talking about a connection that has been gradually revealed to everyone. The interesting thing is that nothing they share seems superficial, on the contrary, every detail, no matter how small, conveys something real. What makes them special is the way they manage to reflect such deep feelings through looks, gestures, and words that emerge in the most unexpected moments. If we think of the most meaningful memories, it's impossible to leave out that time Taehyung performed the song All of Me. During the performance, his voice resonated with a distinct emotion, and right at the most heartfelt part of the lyrics, he pointed clearly at JUNGKOOK as he pronounced, give everything to me, I'll give everything to you. It was such a simple moment yet so full of meaning, because it wasn't just singing, it was dedicating. And the surprising thing was what happened next. JUNGKOOK, without hesitating for a second, accompanied his voice with a harmony so clear that it seemed created just for that moment. The way they bonded in that song made it clear they were connected in a way that went beyond the musical. That scene left a lasting impression on many people because their reaction was impossible to ignore. After singing together, they exchanged wide smiles, the kind that you can tell were genuine because they lit up the entire face. It was evident they were enjoying what was happening, and there was a mutual understanding that didn't need to be explained. It was all there: affection, complicity, and the joy of sharing a unique moment in front of everyone. But this wasn't the only moment Taekook showed what they felt. On another occasion, JUNGKOOK blurted out a phrase that still resonates with those who heard it: "I'll be your man." It wasn't just a simple chant, he said it with the force of someone wanting to make a clear message. Upon hearing it, Taehyung responded wordlessly, with a gaze that shone brightly and a smile that seemed impossible to contain. That exchange of emotions between the two was so powerful that it became one of the most talked about and cherished memories for those who follow their story. What makes Taekook special isn't just the fact that they share songs or accompany each other on stage, but the way they each find a way to be there for each other. They support each other, understand each other, and above all, enjoy being together. This closeness doesn't just emerge, it's the result of years of sharing, of trust, and a relationship that grows stronger over time. Every interaction between them has a deeper meaning than meets the eye. Many Taekook fans feel a mixture of joy and sadness when they see this. Joy, because it's wonderful to witness such a close relationship, but also sadness because they know they can't always express it in the most open way. Even so, they always find a way to leave clear signals, as if the whole world couldn't stop them from expressing what they feel. This ability to convey without saying it directly is part of what makes them so special. Another thing that's striking is how their relationship seems to grow every day. It's evident in the way they look at each other during performances, in how they enjoy sharing time with the audience, and in the way they support each other in situations that for others would be routine. For Taekook, every moment together seems to have a unique value. This idea that they love each other more than yesterday and less than tomorrow becomes evident when observing their evolution over time. The love they show isn't based on grandiloquent words or exaggerated gestures. It's an affection reflected in simple things, in a well-timed hug, in a shared laugh in the middle of the stage, in a glance that lasts longer than usual. These details, which may seem small to others, are the essence of what they convey. The way Taehyung and JUNGKOOK accompany each other also has an inspiring aspect. They teach that true love doesn't need masks or embellishments. It's enough to be present, to listen to each other, and to show support in important moments. This way of relating feels close and human, because anyone who has ever felt something real can recognize it in them. Remembering all these moments is like building a memory album where each page has a special meaning. It's not just that they sing together, but that they do so in a way that seems to be telling each other something that others can only partially perceive. It's as if they share a private language, made up of melodies, smiles, and gestures that only they fully understand. The most admirable thing about Taehyung is that everything they show is consistent with what they convey outside of those specific moments. The trust they have in each other, the way they seek each other out, and the ease they feel when being around each other are reflected in every public appearance. They aren't isolated fragments, but rather parts of a story that is built with consistency and sincerity. Every day that passes, a new detail is added to that story, a look that surprises, a laugh that spreads, a gesture of support when the other is in need. All these elements form a narrative that anyone can recognize as genuine. That's why Taekook has such an impact on those who follow them. It's not simply admiration for two artists, but the recognition of a relationship that moves people because it feels authentic. By observing them, we also learn something important, that love and affection aren't always expressed with direct words, but with constant actions and a willingness to be there for each other. Taehyung and JUNGKOOK show us that what matters isn't what is said, but what is done day in and day out. And in their case, what they do is show support, respect, and affection in ways so clear that it's impossible not to notice. For all these reasons, talking about Taekook is talking about something that goes far beyond the superficial. It's recognizing the existence of a strong bond, built with patience, trust, and moments that, although seemingly simple, are actually full of meaning. And that's what makes their story so valuable. It reminds us that true feelings don't need to be embellished, because they are already strong enough on their own. Thus, every time they share a moment in front of an audience, they are leaving a lasting mark. There's no need to look for complicated explanations, just look at their smiles, listen to how they accompany each other in a song, or notice the way they look at each other. It's all there, right in front of everyone, showing that what they feel is real and continues to grow over time. Ultimately, Taekook is the representation of a relationship sustained by sincerity and closeness. It doesn't matter if it's a crowded concert or a seemingly small moment, what they share always has a special glow. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of their story, that genuine affection always finds a way to show itself, even when circumstances don't make it easy. That's why every moment JUNGKOOK and Taehyung give us is so precious. Because beyond the music and the stage, what they convey is the certainty that true love, when it exists, doesn't need to be embellished, it's simply lived, shared, and recognized in the eyes of those who feel it.